Cool. So, welcome to another podcast. This one, we're going to be doing things a little differently. So, we've got Nick coming in a little bit later. But to start with, we're just going to start with you and I. We want to go through some feedback that we've had from the podcast, some funny things, and just allow people to get to know you and I a little bit better, especially if they're, committing to listening to our voice every single week. I think we can talk a little bit more about who we are and what it is that we do. So, let's start things off as we normally do with our elevator pitches. So what's your elevator pitch?
Oh God, I'm going to go first and then you're going to absolutely blow me out of the water because you're so much better at me than this. All right, so Alara, we are supported independent living specialist. We want to provide the best possible care to the people that we support in our services, and we don't do everything. We just do SIL services, or predominantly our core business is SIL services. And I hate that I just went first because you're about to kill me with your elevator pitch. No. But I'm not very good at our stuff sells in what we do, not by what I say, right?
So you're saying that the stuff that we do doesn't? It's
exactly.
Just a good salesman.
No, actually, I need to take it off the website and replug it into this podcast somehow. No, tell us about you, Chris.
Okay, so what do we do? So actually our elevator pitch is, so we've helped hundreds of providers deliver millions of support hours. So everything from marketing, business development, people and culture, that's sort of where we plug in and help providers scale. Different stages of growth happen. So obviously in the first instance, people need to get in front of more participants and support coordinators. Then as you grow, I'm sure we're going to touch on this, but connecting the brain of the business, so the owner, with the heart of the business, with the frontline support worker, gets more and more disconnected as you grow and scale. So that's where we plug in a lot and help as well. So that's sort of
how many providers have you worked with?
Our database of people that we've had at least strategy sessions with is over 800.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And how many think you're still running and operating an NDIS business?
Ones that haven't come on and worked with us, I couldn't say. So when we do our strategy sessions, they're just half an hour, or we'll give some people some guidance. So there's a great org down in Melbourne, Geovic. They've had a couple with us, and we always stay in touch and stuff like that. So there's a lot like that. And then others that we come on and we work quite intensely with for like 3 months or something. And send them on their way, and then others where we just, work with them for life because they go, actually, why do we need a marketing and business development team? Like, we'll just completely outsource that. So very different models. It depends what suits, but I think that's...
So you do work with NDIS's businesses differently?
Oh, 100%.
Is that how you started?
How do you mean?
Like, was the initial idea to do like just marketing and then it sort of evolved from there, or like?
Yeah, well, my background in the sector is business development. So the marketing actually came after the business development, but in us offering that as a service, it's marketing. And for the first instance, that's what most people come to us for, is they go, we need help with marketing or whatever that may be. But it's especially for new providers and medium-sized providers, it's not actually marketing that they need. That's a very crucial part, but it's not going to work. You can go dump 100 grand, 500 grand in Facebook ads, and it's not going to make a difference to your business unless you have those other parts around, which is trust within the sector, relationships with support coordinators, tools and resources to be able to show participants when they potentially approach you. All of these other things, a good, strong frontline. These parts are integral, and then the marketing will come. But if you don't have any of those other parts, it's not going to work. So that's where we end up, again, spending most of our time is on the business development and consultancy. But people don't really go seek out a consultant. They come to us for marketing. And then
they realize they need so much more.
And then all of a sudden, 2 months in, they're like, I don't care about Facebook. Like, we need, help us with this. So that's where we do that, which is great because I spend all of my time doing the consulting and the strategy and the high level stuff, and then the girls in the office do a lot of the organic marketing and resource generation and all of that stuff. So it's really good. It means that I don't have to physically be on there. Like, I'm not much of a graphic designer. I can get my way through it, but I don't really jump on and do much of that stuff anymore. But yeah, just all really strategy, and the stuff that I really enjoy doing, which is the purpose that I want to do is just impact as much change in this sector as possible. So for me to do that, strategy is a very, very important thing.
Nice.
That was a lot longer than 30 seconds.
Yeah, I told you you'd fucking kill me too, right?
No, you asked a couple of questions that made it longer.
Yeah, true.
Your fault, not mine.
So how do you think the podcast is going so far? Now, you've had a little bit more experience than me as well. You kind of dragged me into this because I'm a lot funnier than you, obviously.
I digress. Let's digress. Let's go back to the point where you said that I dragged you in. I think you forced your way on.
Oh, whatever.
You did. I remember. I think it was around Christmas time because we were, and you said, maybe next year I want to start doing some stuff like maybe we should do more podcasts and things like that. And then, we just kept having that conversation. And then we actually did jump on for some reason because I think we were meant to have a podcast.
Hey, you asked me to join your podcast.
Yeah, I know. But this was after you asked a couple of times. But there was a reason why we did one together with someone because you were already there or something. And then Chris, our videographer, you said, was that better? And he just went, yeah, much better. And I listened back to it and I went, yeah. So every other podcast scrapped, gone.
Yeah.
And here we are. But I think we've done some really cool stuff, like the branding, like
so cool.
It looks really sexy. I really, really like what we've done. And I think the purpose of this podcast is, I guess with my personal brand within the sector is we're quite unapologetic that we won't work with shit people, and we're quite forward and open and transparent. I think we've been able to portray that through what we do, that it's something that's fun. What we intend to do is have casual conversations.
Absolutely.
With people that
maybe
are doing...
Maybe a few profanities in there.
Yeah. with people that are doing cool things in the sector, just so that we can, again, drive that change.
Absolutely.
So that's sort of where we are, but I think we've had some feedback. What feedback have you had so far about the podcast?
Well, I'm only just going to look internally at the minute. So when I listened back, did you listen back to you and just like pick everything apart about yourself? You've got all of the feedback that we've had externally, but have you listened to yourself back? Because I have some really critical feedback that I need your help with to keep me in line.
I hate hearing the sound of my own voice. I love the idea of people listening to my voice, but
you don't say.
I haven't. There's parts, and I get, especially when I'm cutting the reels to put on the Insta, I hear it and I'm like, why did I do that? Why am I pausing so much or using ums and things like that you don't even realize? So yeah, that's sort of the only internal things I've had. I have left it to sort of everyone else to give me feedback and be a bit fun and cheeky with it. So that's been a lot of fun. I've got some testimonials. I'll read them out for us soon. But I know you were saying that we don't have an intro.
We don't have an intro, no. And we certainly don't want it to be boring, like ding dong, this is episode 27, or anything like that. I thought it could be way cooler, like, probably, us saying or doing something stupid as usual, but
might need to brainstorm it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I do realise that I say an awful lot.
Really?
Yeah, and I need you to like give me some like witching signal, like a wink or something, or throw something out there, because every time I'm listening back, I'm clearly agreeing with someone. Like I'm like, and I'm like, why don't I just say, yeah, that's right, or like,
yeah,
I've got to stop umming. I also realize I talk really fast. Like I didn't even catch some of the sentences that I said myself. And I also watched the video back and I couldn't even lip read it, probably because all the filler I've had or something like that. But I couldn't even lip read back what I was saying. Do you remember where I said, we'll have to share that story about your F1?
Yeah.
And I was like, that started from the bottom, now I'm here story.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to slow that down. Started from the bottom, now I'm here. When I watched that back, I was like, started with the wrong video. Literally how it looked. So I need to slow my speech down.
I think both of us talk quite fast though, and I think it's because you and I are both very, very busy people that we just have to jam so much into a podcast that nothing would get done if we spoke slowly.
And we listen to podcasts at 2 times.
I listen at 1.75. My
People need to
YouTube
slow us down by -2.
Yeah. My YouTube is constantly set to two times.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing is. But I feel like they drag it out to get the listen hours or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just slow and painful. And it's like, man, I didn't need the first 3.5 minutes of that. So, yeah, 2 times. Maybe that is.
I think the struggle that we're going to have is because we are so casual and we like to shake things up and we like to talk, just transparently and openly, is about finding guests, particularly when we're inviting people to speak on the podcast that can also do the same.
Yes.
Be at our level, have as much fun as we do, get a little bit excited, maybe talk a bit out of school, shake things up a little bit, because that's what we're about, right? Showing innovation in the space and stuff. I think that's going to, either make us really good or really let us down. We're going to be like, oh, that one got scratched.
Yeah. I think what we need to do with that is we just need to have it conversational. Like our podcast with Ash was so good. So I think we need to
Ash is a legend though.
So she's awesome.
Yeah.
But I think, we should have her as a guest co-host occasionally.
Definitely.
But I also think that we need to have conversations rather than interviewing people. And I think that's what people like. So if you're listening to this, obviously, message me on LinkedIn, Instagram, the page on LinkedIn, Instagram, Rachel, whoever you know or wherever. We really, really appreciate the feedback. That's something that we're working on. But
and if you wanted to talk about something particularly too, I'd love to get listener feedback as to what they want us to shoot the breeze about, and how we can, we're not about talking jargon, because I had a couple of people listen that aren't even in the NDIS space, and they're like, oh, maybe something that if you're talking about NDIS, if you're not using so much jargon, people wouldn't understand it, but it was, talking about, I know that that's not particularly our audience, but, we don't have to overcomplicate it either just to sound smart.
Yeah, 100%.
Because we already do what we do really well. We don't need to prove that to anybody.
Yeah.
So anyway, I know that's my feedback, so I could probably tear myself apart a little bit more, but let's hear what other people have to say.
We will. But before we do that, I do want to say, to go back to the fact you're coming on the podcast, it's so much better with you. So I don't think we need to tear it apart or anything by any means. But we've had some really...
Maybe I just bring out the bad boy in you.
Yeah.
You feel a little more scandalous when I'm here.
Yeah. No, I think, because I'm quite obviously really, really good Catholic boy, I like to sit at home on Saturday night.
Everybody is laughing right now.
Play PlayStation.
Yes.
I don't even know what people...
If they've listened to our last episode and you're at a strip club with someone with a disability, they might disagree, mate.
Good, yeah. Colourful,
Are you lost for words?
I am.
Chris.
It's the first time.
How you can make this into a reel? Oh, and actually, I think I laugh like a witch. You need to get me a better laugh. I cackle, can you please? But can you also give me a wink? We need some signs. When I start to cackle, soften it, Rachel. Sound pretty, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll work
put
on that.
Notes on that.
Okay, I'm glad. I hope this is really good listening, because just how we're going to fix my problems.
All right. Speaking of problems.
Yeah.
All right. Our first one. Our first feedback was, they said, you and Rachel are unhinged. I love it. And I said, what do you mean? You guys are just savages. Really?
Right.
I thought maybe just I was. No, Rachel too. You guys just don't give a fuck.
Sounds
Pretty
about
accurate.
right.
Yep. This one was, I felt like you guys were the cool group and decided who was in and who was out. That sounds like it wasn't the best, but then the feedback straight after that was, how do I get into the cool group? So
exactly.
No, it's not hard. You just need to be a good provider.
100%. How about you just be a great human?
Yep, be a good human, and
be a good human.
More than happy to work with anyone that is.
Have a good laugh, do really cool stuff in the space, and you are a part of the cool kids.
Yeah. This one was really nice. I really like how it felt really natural and conversational. So it's sort of back to what we're saying. You guys bounce off each other really well. A little bit of talking over each other at times, but really better than I was expecting. And the dynamic will only grow as you get that right. So that was really nice feedback.
Yeah. And that's true too, because we do have a problem sharing talk time.
Yeah.
Like, no, I want to talk. I have the same problem with my children. But
really?
Yeah.
I don't have children.
They just scream at me.
All right. It's very good. Didn't get bored listening to it. Didn't realise I'd listen for as long as I did because I was so engaged in the conversation. Really nice.
Cool.
This one was to me. Do you think people will think you're arrogant? And I said, probably I am.
Well, I'm glad that wasn't to me, because I would have been more offended at that than my own brutal rip apart of myself. You can have the arrogance card. That's all yours.
I think it's confidence. I mean, it might be, but at the end of the day, I've done cool shit in the sector, like, you know, and I've worked with hundreds of providers. I've seen the best of the industry and the worst of the industry, and I feel like I'm, you know, I have that. Anything beyond the marketing and business development and stuff there, I like even website stuff, I send it somewhere else. I've got no idea, but the same thing. I know what we do really, really well, and I'm happy to give everyone as much value as I can there. But beyond that, like if I'm not an expert, if I'm not even half an expert, no, like go somewhere else.
You know what really is cool and what might scare people a little bit about, you know, your arrogance or even the way that we converse and stuff like that, is that we can do really cool stuff in the sector, you know, run really successful businesses, you know, whilst, you know, providing an amazing service that impacts people with disability, right?
Yes.
All whilst not having to wear, you know, a blue suit, you know, talk really, you know, complex jargon, you know, and all that other stuff comes with like the old school corporate NDIS run and operated businesses. Like, and that's what I love so much about what we do, where we get to shake it up and just be like, no, you actually don't need to be like that at all. Yeah. We are a human-based business 100%. And let's just be humans. And you don't need to use big words that you can now get on ChatGPT and all the rest of, you know, AIs or whatever. You just need to be a good person.
And real.
Yeah, and have a bit of fun along the way. Like, this is supposed to be amazing work that we do. Like, have fun. Yeah,
well, that was something. So I work with Jeff, who's coming to the Bali retreat. We'll touch on this a little after. But the girls in the office said to me last year, like, because Grow DSP, the business behind what it is that we do, provides support to providers and has always had a very clean, professional, boring look to it. And I was always getting the shits with people calling up and wanting help. And I'm like, they're just shit people. We're not helping them. And they said, well, let's put a personal brand there so you can really get that right. And I was always hesitant because is it going to alienate people or anything? And then we thought, you know what? Fuck it. Who cares if it does? We know the kinds of
At least you know you'll be aligned with the people that you're working on.
100%.
Right.
And that's why we came out with the NDIS Ninja thing and the whole pushed really hard on the unapologetically reshaping the sector, because at the end of the day, I'm happy to call out people that are doing bad things and happy to work with the best people. And
apparently you're supposed to feel really ashamed about that.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Isn't that just crazy?
I've never felt so much more aligned with what it is that I want to achieve in the space as we do now, and having that personal brand where we go, like, this is me, real, unapologetic. The business is led the same way. My team believe in what we do, the kinds of people we help and why we do it. And beyond that, like, we've got plenty of work. We don't need to go and take shit people on or whatever. So
and that's how we've grown and scaled our business too and been so successful, is because we don't just, like, same as your business, it feels very much the same as mine, as we don't just take everybody because you're not aligned, you know, but in our case, working directly with participants, because we would do you an injustice if we took you on. 100%. I'd prefer to refer you on to somebody who's going to do you a great service, you know, versus working with you and then you walking around and going, oh God, Alara was so shit, because it wasn't our core business.
100%.
You know, like, so that's why I think you get that beautiful thing where you get to work with people that you're aligned with, and then you also get to see them create and do really cool stuff, which you're proud and passionate about.
Yeah.
Isn't that so much better?
Yeah, it is. And I think people that don't get it, then they're probably not the right people anyway. It doesn't necessarily mean they're not good providers. They could be. But we put personality into everything we do. Go back 5 minutes, what you said about we're a human-based sector, and you need to have that show through in your marketing and everything. So, back to that.
And you don't need to be stiff. And, I know it could be seen as, a bit taboo, but, when I look at, Alara, both with their participants and with our staff, we are a family. I genuinely care about, what they're doing in their lives. If they're staff or participants, I want to see them all succeed and do great things. I genuinely want to care. I want to know what their, how their holiday was, or, how them going off maternity leave and making it a safe return after they have a baby. All of that kind of stuff, before it was oh no, you got to be corporate and professional. Yeah. It just, I don't know. Am I the only one that sees that doesn't make any sense?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you come into me and you're crying, I want to give you a hug.
Yeah.
Because I'm a human.
Yes. No, I understand. And I agree. All right, next.
This conversation has really
this is going to go forever.
Yeah, I know.
Next.
Nick won't even get on this podcast.
Next testimonial. I really liked the feel of being driven by making change and the money will follow.
Yes.
Regardless what business you're in, it's really great attitude to have, and excited to see if that's consistent with all the guests.
100%. And it will be, because otherwise they won't be fucking on it.
Yeah, or if they are, see ya.
Yeah.
But that is, the money will always follow. There's nothing that says that you can't do the right thing and be incredibly successful at the same time. And the way I always look at it is, if I need to make a very quick judgment call about whether I think someone's doing things for the right reasons or not, is if they won the lotto tomorrow, sure, they might go for a holiday for a week or a month or whatever, but they never had to work again, would they still show up to work on Monday?
See, I just... See?
Yeah.
A wink or something. Passion, purpose, impact.
Yes.
You got those three things, and you... don't get me wrong, there's going to be shitty days where you're just oh God, this is hard, but if you can take those small wins away, and you've still got all those three core things, if you're not successful financially, you'll be successfully in fulfillment.
Yeah, that's it. I agree. What do we got next one?
More feedback?
We've got this. We'll try to pump through them. I really like this one. I love that there's so much personality in it. Very on brand, and the unapologetic of your brand couldn't be more accurate. That was great. One of my favourite ones.
Yes.
This one's really nice. Got to the last 5 minutes and I was like, wait, why am I listening to this again? It was great and I really enjoyed it, but I had to read the title to remember what the information I was meant to get out of it was. Then when Rachel did the nuggets, I realised that I'd gotten all of that without even realising it because I was enjoying it so much.
Aww.
That was a really, really good one.
And it's so cool that just came, I don't even know how naturally. I can't even.
That was one of our earliest podcasts.
Yeah, I just was like, oh, there's got to be some takeaways from this, and it was.
Yeah.
And that's just.
One of my mates, not in the sector, I listened to it to give you objective feedback, not because I have any interest in the NDIS, but I'm actually excited for the next episode now. You guys did a really great job making it interesting, getting into deep stuff, but still explaining it in a way that it was simple enough for people outside the sector to understand and learn from. That was good.
Oh my God, I think I'm speechless this time.
This is my favourite one.
I'm a Kendall. Not that one.
No, that's the one. Chris is a real life Ken doll with tattoos.
How did I know that was going to be
That's
your
my favourite one.
How did I know?
Yeah. Actually, no. This is
the value adding that one.
No. Okay. The next one. You're lucky you're so good looking because you're an absolute wanker.
Surely that was about me.
So anyway, that's all the feedback that we've got. We'll put them up on the stories. But
I love that.
Yeah, that last one specifically. The last two specifically make me, really feel appreciated for what it is that I do.
Yeah. Here I am tearing myself down about memes, and you're just like, I'm sexist.
All right. So, anyone else with feedback? genuine feedback, funny feedback, roast us. Doesn't really matter.
Maybe roast Chris.
Yeah, I don't care. Like, the more the better. Like, just give me attention. That's it, please.
It's like $100 bill. Yeah.
But something that I want to do is I want to chat about is Bali. So the NDIS retreat, been a lot of updates. We've got a full team there now screening calls before they even get to me, before we make a decision, just because it's actually been disheartening, some of the calls that I've had, where it's just there's so many people out there that are so willing to put profit before the well-being of their participants. And so I just got to the point where I was like, you know what, we need to put a whole structure and team in place. And then, so people are getting through. And
I love that you're being picky.
Oh, well, we had to be. One, like Ash said, one bad person can spoil a group. But we're also really, we've had to subsidise this. Like, all of the money that comes in for paying for the tickets, we're having to put money on top. So we're subsidising providers to come to this.
That's how committed you are to like making this sector amazing.
Yes. And when I'm certainly not going to, some shit provider going to pay for, on top of what they have to pay for, pay on top of that for their developments within the sector. So anyway, it's good now. And I've met so many great people. Like,
Awesome.
Just this week, there's been actually a fair few people that we've gone through. But yeah, just a couple of the really key things. Like, there's this guy Chance that I met, and we're working together. So he's actually come from overseas. When he got here, he was homeless. He was helped out through the youth system, became a youth worker, put together these mentorship programs, and now provides them under capacity and core support. And it's just such a story where he doesn't care at all about the money. He's lived that. He's gone, and then he started going, you know what, this is the impact I want to make in people's lives, and did it without any NDIS funding, provided it. Like, he just made it work. And now that he's able to provide that as an NDIS support, he's, continuing to grow and scale. But his whole career has been driven by, I had a hard life, I overcame it, and I'm going to help people in a similar situation do the same thing.
What's his name?
Chance.
Yeah. Love you already, Chance.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see you in Bali.
Yeah. Oh, and he brings so much energy. But like, I say that story and everyone's going, wow, he sounds amazing. And he is. And so is everyone else that we've got coming, because we've spent that time. I didn't even factor in all of the money we were spending on the team to vet everyone before they get to me. So we're having to subsidise it a bit more.
Don't worry about the cost. It'll be
it's too late
fun.
now. But everyone is like that. There's a guy, Josh, he hasn't been in the sector really long. He's been in and out of the sector and has a lot of experience in other sectors as well. But he's already said, like, all we need to do is the right thing. Like, it's not about money anymore. And he started this little industry group over in Perth that he's already started to grow. And he said the first thing he said when they had the first meeting was, if you're here to connect with other providers and get participants, you're in the wrong room. This room is about us self-regulating in the sector, and things like person-centered plans, right? There's no requirement under the NDIS to provide person-centered support, but it's a self-regulation that we've put on each other, is that you need to be providing person-centered care. So that's sort of where they're coming from. Obviously, we want to put that industry body together at the end of the retreat. So we're very aligned there. But he's come into the sector very, very quickly. Probably a couple of years he's been in the sector, but he's already done really, really great things and already gone holistically beyond just the support. He's just gone, no, like, it's all about changing the sector for me now. So many great people.
And it's crazy that he knows that, and he's only just joined the sector.
And
like, he already knows that it needs revolutionizing. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Reshaping. Oh, that's the word I use.
I was like, blah, blah, blah.
But yeah, plenty. If I haven't mentioned them, we certainly will. So everyone that's coming is getting this welcome pack, and it shows everyone who's coming why they were selected and stuff. And then after the retreat, we're going to put out a lot of videos and show why we selected everyone and tell that story, because just this week alone, I could give you the exact number, it doesn't matter, 350 odd applications this week alone. That's how many providers are trying to come to this retreat.
How many spots have you got left?
Oh,
What's that?
not many. Not many, not enough. but as I'm happy.
Let's say the next 10, they need to be like Mickey
There's
Mouse,
definitely
Donald
not 10.
Duck, like.
There's not 10 left, but yeah, they do.
All
But
right.
we also have I can close it now, and I'm really happy with the group. Unless someone is exactly like you said, like Mickey Mouse, they're not. We'll close it up where it's at. We've got a phenomenal group, and we're gonna really do some great things in this industry.
And we're going to do some sick podcasting from some
Yeah.
sick locations.
Yeah, we're gonna have to bring
Probably
this
with
over.
a few mojitos under our belt.
Yeah. Maybe that was actually I think we'd had a couple of Friday afternoon drinks before Ash's podcast. Maybe that's why we all did so well.
But I mean,
Yeah.
this one's been pretty good, and I mean, I'm only on the coffee and the water. So.
Yeah, water for me too.
Is that water or is it vodka in that bottle?
No, it's definitely water. I've had too much vodka recently. Cool. Yeah, that's sort of all from me. I think.
So when is it again? 25th June.
21st to 25th.
21st to 25th of June in sunny Bali. Is it going to be summer over there or winter? Or I know we're escaping our winter.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that it's going to be warm but not too hot.
Okay.
The villa. Oh man, absolute beachfront. Like it's so good. So expensive. I did not realize when we put this undertaking together, quite what it was. For anyone listening who hasn't listened to our podcast and doesn't know what it is that we're doing, so should I probably address that actually?
Yeah.
So,
and you know what I think? No, continue as you were.
no, okay. So problem is, and I've seen it myself on the ground working for providers and all of the providers we support now, expos and networking events. Expos, you spend 5 to 10 grand and you're lucky to get 30 seconds with someone conducive to your business. Networking events, there's a local accountant, local website guy, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for a sector that supports hundreds of thousands of people and delivers and is worth billions of dollars, I think we can educate at a higher level. So that's what we've done. Everyone that's there has lived experience within the disability sector, within that space, and are incredible at what they do. So basically it's 5 days of networking where you can really focus on your business and building relationships with the best people in the sector, followed by all workshops by people that are incredibly skilled at what they do, like the CFO of a $1 billion business, a branding guy that's and style guy that's worked with people like Lewis Hamilton and the NDIS Ninja and all those really important people.
Plug. Hey, can I also say something? Is that I think there was some commentary about some of the guest speakers that are not from the NDIS space, right? And how will they add value? And I think that's probably one of the best things that you've done for this retreat is that you pulled a few people that obviously have NDIS experience and understand the sector and all that kind of stuff, but you've actually given a whole other suite of people that have complementary skills and knowledge that'll help you in any aspect of your business. Like you look at Nick, who we'll interview soon, right? She before working for Alara, she worked shopping centres, retail, food and beverage, hospital, like all that kind of stuff. Never ever worked in the NDIS in her life. You want to hear her talk the NDIS jargon now and how aligned she is, right? Yeah. And she talks about Alara like it's her own, like she's lived and breathed it for longer than 4.5 months, So I think, and she's brought so many different skill sets from all of her diversity,
Yeah.
and enhanced Alara 100 times over.
Yeah.
So I think it's actually brilliant that you did that. And you chose not to just get a whole bunch of people that we've already heard before say exactly the same thing over and over again, like add value to us by...
Everything has been really, really, really well thought out. Like Joel Cummings, so he actually does have some experience in the sector. His skill set is as a chief financial officer, incredibly good at what he does. But he has had exposure. He's worked for a couple of businesses where there has been that involvement. So he does have knowledge of this. Everyone has at least what do you call it? When someone complicit level of understanding, enough of an understanding of the sector to certainly be able to deliver value and relate what they do to the sector. You know, and there's people there that have worked with other orgs. They might have children that have a disability or things like that. Like,
but as long
we
as you're a
haven't
good human
Yes.
and you're value aligned, and you actually happen to add value, because a CFO really doesn't need to understand the NDIS. They need to understand profit and loss and zero and all those other strategy stuff that they'll do with financial, like with your financials.
Yep.
They're not on the ground providing services and support to people with disabilities.
They don't need to know too much about
They
manual
need to
handling.
be a good human, value aligned, love what you're doing as a business, and then they can add their skill set.
Yeah.
You know, there's no point in having a disability support worker manage your financials.
Yeah, 100%.
You
But
know?
that is what we've done. So basically, someone said it to me the other day, it's basically a business in a box. And it's like, well, it's not, because brand new providers.
We don't put anything in a box.
Yeah. Well, brand new providers, potentially if they're the right people, but I think it's just a value add for people that are sort of already in the space and providing support to be able to grow. And that's why I've thought that the key things that we struggle with in the sector are marketing, business development, people and culture. They're the big things that take you from small and medium-sized provider to large provider. And that's where we've put all things around. And that's why even Jeff, coming as, you know, personal branding and style and things like that, what he's coming to do is to help put together aligning your personal brand as a leader of your organization with the values of the business. Who in the sector do we know that can do that? That's why we've had to go outside the sector to get him, because he is the person that is going to help bring out you in yourself as a leader, the values of your business, to be able to lead like you do with your team, and be able to lead them and show and live those values that your business is, and have them representative and cohesive of each other. That's why we've gone outside the sector.
But it's like any part of your business too. Like, I mean, my career and the reason why I do what I do is because I can run and operate cell services with my eyes closed, my hands tied behind my back, and because I genuinely love it, right? Marketing, you know, I'm like, I scroll on Instagram, like, do I need to know any more than that? You know, you know, same with the CFO, with the HR. That's why you have, you know, a suite of experts within your business to carry out those functions, you know. Never mind the doorbell going off. You know, to carry out those functions in your business, you know. So, yeah. You know what I was just thinking?
What?
I was thinking, I wish that we could wait to the end of our conversation for me to give my elevator pitch.
Why?
I don't know.
You can redo it at the end.
No, I know, but now I'm on the spot again, so I'll probably make it sound equally as bad as I did at the beginning of this conversation. But yeah, I really find that I don't know what it is about that elevator pitch cell right at the beginning of our conversations. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's
I don't know.
It's because I don't have a rehearsed one, and I think it's because you don't have a rehearsed one then too.
Yours is so good.
Yeah, but I do a lot of talking.
Yeah, you do all this shit all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you were to do an elevator pitch for Alara, what would you say? I mean, you know us well enough. It has to be better than mine.
Basically what I said when we were talking to your website guy before, which is, you know, pioneering the concierge living model. And then you would start when people go, what? Like, it's enough to grab attention. And you go, you know, it's independent living with 24/7 support with privacy, basically. You would word that up and change it around, but a version of that, I wouldn't script it because then it won't sound natural, but basically a version of that, that's what I would lead with. But again,
so
if
like
you're
that's
talking
one
about
of our
exactly
one of our service models. So like we provide an array of, you know, support models under the supported independent living.
Yeah, I think it depends who you're having a conversation with about what. Like you would also have around your core supports and social support stuff, like, you know, community access and things like that. You would have a different one, but it'd be something along the lines there. I would definitely lead with the concierge model, because I think that's what, when we first spoke, where I was like, oh, I really, really want to work with you guys, was because of the concierge model.
I know, but we do so much other stuff too. Like I adore the concierge model. You know, I love the vertical model, the concierge model, whatever you want to call it. Like, I think that it's truly integrated community living whilst having the support that you need. I was talking really fast again, see? And I love that model, but we do so much other cool and innovative space stuff in the SIL space as well. So Yeah, we'll
Do you
talk
have-
about that through another episode. I
Yeah.
think.
Do you have
Maybe
any
episode
weird and unique programs, or even like a community or program coordinator or something that comes up with just really unique, different, weird programs? Like I was talking to this guy the other day who runs a motorbike program. So he has like 10 little motorbikes, and these kids come and he teaches them how to ride the dirt bikes and stuff.
Oh,
and
that's
it's all
so
covered.
cool.
Yeah, like all just stuff like that. And he's like, I don't care if it's a loss, you know, a loss with that. Like it's not our call. It's just those cool stuff, almost like your give back. So my question was, do you have anything like that? Because if not, like maybe that's what I'll do. I'll come up with some cool shit for you guys.
Well,
to
I
do.
told you what I think in our last podcast. I said that I really wanted to do like a social gathering event, not a Wiggles concert, but like you know, where we go to a proper nightclub or an alcohol venue or whatever, and we just have a great time and we get to connect. Not sort of. Not anything that's
condescending.
Yeah,
it's age
exactly.
appropriate. Yeah.
So like something really fun like that. But no, I think we can brainstorm at that after.
Yeah.
We'll take that offline.
Yeah. Cool.
But maybe by episode 2223, I might have an elevator pitch that might somewhat sum up the amazing organisation that Alara is. But
Yes.
This episode again it'll be a dud for now. But
Yeah. Awesome. All right. What's next? Anything else on our agenda or?
No, I think that's it. But I think what I'd really like is like feedback about what people want to see, hear, what they want us to talk about, who they want us to have on the podcast. Like, so if it's providers, if it's participants, if it's, specific specialized stuff that people are doing.
Yeah. And what they want to get out of it rather than, and I think
you just want to hear me and Chris shoot the breeze.
I actually think that was a lot of the feedback. People were like, I didn't intend necessarily come listening to it for value. It was just to sort of listen and have a laugh. But then on the other side, I had a lot of people come that intentionally came for the value in the space and then went, I actually really enjoyed it. For me, that was so. That feedback, all of this feedback is crucial. We want to make this successful. We want to use this as a platform to be able to push good things in the sector. So
meet amazing people, show people what cool and innovative stuff people are doing in this space, connect with awesome humans, maybe, shake things up every now and then.
Yeah. And I mean, we've come too far. We've invested too heavily in this now.
We've got a media wall. We've invested far too much money.
That's booked weekly. We've got all the gear. No idea. But yes. So if you're listening, still, feedback, anything, please find us anywhere. Contact any of us. And give us some feedback, and we'll try and make this great for you. So what are we going to do? Are we going to invite Nick in? Cool. So I think next we're going to be joined by Nick, who's been with you for 4 months, 5 months.
Oh my God,
like that.
it feels like a lifetime, but it's only been 4 months.
Yeah. So really cool. She's been involved in the new website, the new rebrands, the setup at the expos. So much stuff, all of these give back programs. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun interviewing her, see if we can put her on the spot. And
don't think we'll have much trouble there.
Yeah.
Pretty good at that.
All right. So now we're joined by Nick. So Nick's how long have you been with Rachel and Alara now?
Since mid-January.
God, has it only been
It's only been a couple of months.
Far out.
Yeah, January.
Feels like you're part of the furniture.
What, 4 months? It feels like a lifetime.
Yeah, wow.
We've done a lot in 4 months. 3 months.
Yeah, a full
4 months.
rebrand.
A full rebrand. Rolling that out.
New website coming.
New website coming. Just finished a meeting about that, so that was exciting to see what the boys have put together.
Expos,
events, give backs, staff training.
The give backs are awesome.
Oh, how fun are they?
Let's start with that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so tell us a little bit about the give back events that you guys have done and have been doing. I think they're really, really cool. So, yeah, tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, so, this is Rachel's baby. So, basically, Rachel and the team made a pledge that every 3 months we would host a community give back event across the company. and we invite the participants along as well, and their families.
Staff, families.
Participants, staff, families,
Staff,
everyone.
families, anybody that wants to be involved.
Yeah, and we choose a different charity or organisation every 3 months. So we've done Eat Up Australia, which they make cheese sandwiches to give to kids that go to school hungry.
Yeah, the one in three.
One in three, kids that go to school hungry. So we had them out, and in 45 minutes we made over 1,500 cheese sandwiches. It was pretty epic. And it was lots of fun as well. So all the team had a blast.
There was lots of music that day.
Yeah,
it was a hoot.
Yeah.
So much fun.
I think that's something that I say this to people all the time. That's something that we deal with a lot with is people come to us in the first instance because they want help to get participants, right? It's not hard to get participants in this sector. You need two things: be a good person and provide a good service. The disconnect comes from how do you tell people that, right? And once you get that right, you guys know, like there's constant referrals that come through. The battle very quickly becomes getting that staff and culture buy-in, which, you know, we spoke about before. But I think things like this really talks to the values of the business, the organisation, the participants, the family. There is that huge culture of giving back and, you know, just doing the right thing.
Yeah.
What do you think, sort of in your role, you would see it, especially when new staff come on? How do they... does that become like an acceptance thing, them wanting to be part of the culture, the vibe? Like how does that play out?
Yeah, well, I think right down from the recruitment stage, like we get a vibe for the people that we interview and whether they'd be a good fit for Alara in terms of their values and just their
And our values
attitude.
just aren't words.
No,
it's not like we
it's a
just plonked
feeling.
5 words on a piece of paper just to get a mission and value statement or whatever. But when we say, I know I was inherently put on this earth to give back to others, to serve others, like it brings me the most fulfillment. Like I get the most out of that, whether it's giving to my participants, to others, my family, whoever.
Yeah.
You know, so when I created Alara, it had to incorporate that. And it wasn't just giving or giving back for no other reason but just because, you know. And so when we do these give back events, it really ties everybody in together, I feel.
Yeah, to a common purpose. And
Yeah.
everyone feels so good about participating, and it builds the team camaraderie at the same time. Like,
Yeah. And I think that is, I say it all the time about, you guys have said it to you before, that if you were to put like a police lineup together you'd see in the movies, and there was 10 people there, I could point out and go, that's one of Rachel's staff, that's one of because they're all the same person. They're all very different, but they all have the same values. They all bring the same energy. They all want to see the same change in the world.
Yeah.
And I think it's these things that you do, which we call it internal marketing, but it's people and culture. No, that's what we call it when we try to explain it to people. It's people and culture, but internal marketing to
and
keep all
attracting the right
stakeholders.
people.
100%, right?
Yeah.
And even things like this, because I don't know how many of your staff listen, but they get to...
All of them, what are you talking about?
but they all get to buy in and go, yes, that's exactly why we work with Rachel and Nick and the team, because they, you know, share that value. And it sounds so cheesy.
We get a huge number of staff who are referred on by people who work here already. So they'll say, come over to Alara. Like they know people who are support workers at other companies. And they'll say, what are you doing? Come work for Alara. Like they're amazing. Like not tooting our own horn, but like they say like, yeah. And when I'm inducting people, I ask them, you know, why did you join Alara? The amount of times people have said to me, because I've heard what great things Alara's doing, or a friend of mine works here and you're great to work for, things like that. Like it blows my mind the amount of times that I've heard that. And so it is that attracting the right people and getting people to come on board with what we're trying to achieve here.
Yeah, it's definitely the biggest challenge in the sector at the moment that we face. It's not even like on our website and stuff, it's not even a service that we offer, but it's where we spend 85% of our time is helping providers do those activations to get staff buy-in and helping with stuff like that, because it is the biggest challenge. People, especially new providers, I find that shit providers find it easy to get participants in the first instance. They don't last very long. It's only 3 months before the support coordinator will pull it and whatever. But the staffing very quickly becomes the biggest issue once you as a good provider can make that connection to let other people in the sector know you exist, why you exist, and who it is that you serve incredibly well. So yeah, I do think that you guys nail that with the staff. I always use you guys as an example in that police lineup one, because it's maybe there's a better way. Maybe there's a better way for me to explain it than police lineup.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. It's really cool. That's one of the things that I think you do everything really well. But that specifically. But let's talk about the rebrand. So the new website, like I've seen it, is sexy. I really like
I love
the
that you use that word too. Wow.
Yes, it's fun. It's bright. It's vibrant. It's inviting. It's Alara on a screen. Really.
And that was exactly why we went to the rebrand, right?
Yeah, we wanted something that was you wanted something that was more.
You made it come to life.
Yeah, well, it had to be
Let's
fun.
not talk about pool noodles.
Yeah, we're not talking about the pool noodle. We had some logo fails in the early days, but we got there, and it's everything that we want Alara to be known for, being bold and vibrant and inviting, but still professional and caring. The iconography that we used, we call it a hug. So the circle around the A at the end is embracing, and we use that as accents across all of our outputs, all of our marketing collateral, just to remember that, that's why we're here, to care for people and to embrace, like, everything is inclusive and inviting. So
can I just say, talk about people, right? Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, Nick can sit here and, like, I'm getting a bit teary because she can explain Alara just as if it was in my own words, as if I were saying it. Like, she's literally captured it, and I just heard her like in me, or whatever that saying is. But like that's what it is when we talk about people.
Yeah,
you know?
and I think. But the messaging you have, well, it was interesting. I remember when Nick came on board, you were telling me a little while ago, and she was there, and you were saying, like, when she first came on board, she was going to do these roles and stuff, but you were going through the rebrand, and then Nick just did it, and you were like, why did we even pay for a rebrand? And then you were like, that was it. Like,
that was it. She was, I think she started as 2 days a week, and she did her first week, and I was like, look, you are so much bigger than your initial role that we brought you on for. I'm like, how do you feel about coming on full time and doing all this other stuff?
Yeah. I think it was my second day.
Yeah.
It was like the second or third day.
I just knew it,
Yeah. No, but it's been great. Yeah. I just wish I had more time. We need more hours. Yeah. Like, there's so much that we can do, and it's exciting, and we just need more time, more hands, and yeah.
Instead we're dragging her onto podcast.
Yeah.
No.
Are you going to drag her to Bali or what?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
I don't know if my husband will let me go.
Oh, that's all right.
I've got a young one at home. I don't know if he could do a week on his own.
It's only 5 days.
Oh, it's only 5 days.
Yeah.
I'd love to come. I need the holiday.
Yeah, it's going to be
good. And it sounds amazing.
Oh, it's going to be fab.
Yeah. I think it's going to be really good. Cool. So moving forward, obviously, so website rebrand's done. What are the big goals over the next sort of year? I know a fair few of your SIL sites are full now. So what's the moving forward? What's the next big thing? Like, you guys have already done some really good things, and most providers that have just gone through that scale, you go, okay, it's time to consolidate. But you guys don't need to, because you've got the staff there that all are here. They plan to be here for a long time. They plan to
or if in Nick's case, I'm like, I'll find
like, you're actually in a position where it's like you can grow. You don't need to fix any leaky holes.
Yeah.
Oh, there's definitely always improvement.
Not to the same extent that you see, but
and we always look. Like, we really, when we say we really value feedback. When someone comes and says, oh, I think there's a better way of doing this, we're like, okay, great, let's look at it. So we are having that kind of approach at the business now, looking at it from all different types of angles, and looking at how we can improve, processes, automate processes, how we can, improve the quality of service that we're delivering, how we can get that feedback more streamlined, all that sort of stuff. But I think that Alara does what it does because it does its thing very well. So our plan is to just stay in our lane and continue to provide a great service, which is obviously, and continue to be the best in that space and grow our SIL portfolios, and with that obviously provide exceptional care to people with disabilities.
Yeah.
So what does that look like tangibly? Does that mean, you know, we're taking on new developments? Like I know Wollongong's full, Navali's full, nearly full?
Yes, yeah. So we've got Lidcombe coming up, so that's another vertical model. So obviously another sort of concierge style model. We've got some robust villas coming up in the Western Sydney area. We're looking at another traditional group home in the Illawarra. So all of the different models that we've got to do, but and another one in Campbelltown, which is going to be incredible. I'm keeping it very tight-lipped at the moment because it's going to be very, very, very cool.
Cool. So, Nick, what's next for you in your role? Obviously,
Yes,
it's evolving
tell
very
me.
quickly. What does your day-to-day look like at the moment, and what's gonna change?
Every day is different, but at the moment I'm really working on sort of building our brand in the industry. So attending expos and making memorable moments there. And also we're doing a lot of award categories and award nights and telling the Alara story to as many people as we can. You know, it's super important that we explain the concierge model and make it more widely known about the differences of concierge support in comparison to traditional in-home supported independent living models, to give our participants that greater level of privacy and independence.
So what does that look like? Are we going Telstra Businesswoman of the Year or what?
Going the Osmumpreneurs, and we've been nominated for the Zest Awards as well. And we have an amazing team doing great things with Sam. So I sent you an email about that this morning about nominating for the Disability Staff Recognition Awards.
My team putting me in for that. I don't know what the categories or anything are.
So you can there's a whole heap of categories.
I'll
so you can either do
woman in business though.
Huh?
I'll do a Telstra woman in business.
Yeah. Esha from...
we already did that one.
Oh, did we?
I've nominated you for that,
Oh,
yeah.
I don't even know what I'm nominated for.
Esha from AFIA did it years ago. I think she might have even won it multiple times. But
Oh, wow.
I remember when they used to be...
Coming for you,
Yeah.
No, but I know when they used to be... I hope she's listening to this because I quite often talk about how much I really, really like what they do. I remember meeting them when they were in their North Sydney office years and years ago when they used to just be a staffing agency. And they've come on and they've grown so well and they market like crazy. And I just think they've always been so good at what they do. So, shout out to them. Coming for them now with you're going to be the new Telstra Businesswoman of the Year.
Hey, we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully.
So what's the disability awards that you just said?
It's the Staff Recognition Awards. So you can nominate organisations or you can nominate individuals and teams for the work that they do. So like some of our participants, or a lot of our participants, are making leaps and bounds in terms of their goals and progress. Like one of our participants went to the beach for the first time in 15 years. And loved it.
And we had
Biggest
to build
smile on his face.
Yeah,
and,
there was so much that went into that, building his tolerance around travelling in a vehicle, all of his sensory requirements, like so much that went into that. Like literally a year ago, he could only travel 15 minutes
in the car.
Now
And he's driving for hours.
Well, I mean, they went to Stanwell Tops or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, somewhere
He's in
crazy.
Maryland. So what's that, Wollongong?
Yeah.
Over an hour.
Yeah.
So the work that team is doing is phenomenal. And, his family is really recognising as well that they're getting their old Sam back there, seeing his progress and how happy he is and the difference that's making to him personally. So things like that, really telling the story about how we can help and how our team can change lives.
Yeah, wow. I wonder if we could do like a podcast one. We could be the first NDIS podcast to be award winning.
There is a podcast award in the Osmumpreneurs, but it's not NDIS specific.
Let's go. Let's
and
do
you're
it.
Not
Let's
a,
do
and
it.
You're not a mum. Just FYI.
You are.
I know, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So just this
Yeah,
half
yeah.
of the podcast.
No, so the award that I want to win this year,
Yes.
the Impact 25. So
Okay.
pro bono do it, and it's the 25 most impactful people in the like care sector. So
Okay.
it's speechies and OTs as well as providers. Even I think even childcare and stuff. But yeah, so they recognise the 25 most impactful people in that sector. I've had that on my dream board since like 2016, 2017.
Oh.
I did
When
get
is it?
nominated. I don't know. But yeah, so my team better be across that.
Across
and,
that. Okay.
yeah,
Need
but
to
that's
win.
that's it. I need
Ignited
to be,
Impact 25.
yeah. Well,
How do we vote?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know yet, but all I know is just that for me, that's the title that 25 most impactful
I think
people
you've
in the industry.
achieved so much that you'd have to be up there.
Surely, I hope so.
Yeah.
I think we've helped so many providers, and I say this all the time is that's why we do is because for us to affect as much change in this sector at scale is by helping providers. Because if I was to start a provider and help 10 or 100 participants, it's just not the scale that I want to affect. I just really want to push the sector forward. And if we can work with hundreds of providers who all support hundreds of people, there's a net 10,000 plus participants that are living better lives because of the work that we do. So that's why when impact is why we do what we do. It's not about any other part. So that's to do that at the most scale. So hopefully that's recognised. Let's see. But that's the one we're
I
really,
love
really gunning
that.
for.
Yeah.
So
Well, you're definitely having my vote.
excellent. One.
Yeah.
Nick, and Nick, two. If we get Chris the camera guy,
Yeah.
we've got at least 3 votes.
Yeah,
At
exactly.
least.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well,
3 votes. Awesome.
yeah.
We're halfway there,
Really.
surely.
Big ask.
Cool. So when are all of the awards for you guys are going to have some expensive award nights?
Definitely. And a nice opportunity too to get our team involved and have them a part of the night
have
as
them
well.
come along
Yeah, for
and,
sure.
and meet other people as well in the industry and other community groups.
Which is why we love the give back events too, because our staff might not interact with other people within the business all of the time, and see everybody at all levels of the business getting their hands dirty, so to speak, and involved and together and doing everything as a team and getting to know one another. That's what's so
Coming
additionally
together.
beautiful when we do the give back events or anything like that.
Awesome. What else can we ask Nick
Oh God!
before we wrap up?
Should we ask her?
I'm a bit scared.
I don't know what you.
I want to like put her on the spot and be like, why Alara? Like, why do you love working at Alara? Can I?
You just want a cheap testimonial video, so you don't have to pay a videographer
Oh my
to come in.
gosh, great idea. Yeah, why do you love working at Alara? If you do love working at Alara.
Oh, I hate it. No.
All right, that's it. Podcast done.
Pleasure having you guys. See ya.
It's been, I am completely new to the NDIS sector, so it's been a complete eye-opener, but I have loved every single minute of it. And I just can't get enough of it. Like, there's just so much to do, so much to learn, and I feel like I'm actually doing something of value. Like, I'm making a difference, I'm helping out. The team is phenomenal. Like, all of the staff on the Alara team are great to work with, and they make you want to help. Like, they make you want to chip in and get the job done. You are amazing and obviously an inspiration with everything that you've achieved, and I'm learning so much, which that's what makes me, it's not about the money, it's not about anything, it's about how much
pay her
I'm
terribly.
No, you don't pay terribly at all. But it's about learning and giving back and feeling like you're achieving something. I think that's the most important thing that I get out of this job, and I'm really enjoying it. I've worked in the tourism sector. I've worked in hospitality. I've worked in shopping centres, and this by far is so much more fulfilling personally. As a career, it's nice.
Well, we would
Loving
be
it.
absolutely lost without you, Nick.
Aw,
So we are so grateful for you.
Aw.
So thank you for being
So
part
I
of our team.
might make probation.
After that testimonial,
After that,
girl, you'll be
okay,
fine.
Test passed.
Yeah,
Test
exactly.
Excellent. Well, it's been great having you.
Thank you.
That was
Um,
fun.
Yeah, no, and I think it was really great to see all of the cool things that Nick has done. And again, it's sort of incredible how short of a time she's been in the NDIS space specifically, but she's obviously very qualified in what she does, and how she's been able to, just because she's the right person and has the right skills, you can teach the NDIS stuff. You just need to find that value or in people, right?
100%. I am abundantly blessed to have Nick and all my team a part of Alara, but mate, she's one firecracker for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, no, I think that was another great episode. Again, if you're listening, give us feedback so we can make this as good as possible.
What is
and
it,
as
like,
valuable.
Subscribe, something like that?
Oh, I don't really care about that. I just want
Is that what
feedback.
the cool people
Yeah.
say these days?
Yeah, like
the
it.
cool
do,
kids.
do that or don't. Don't care.
I'll be like. I don't know how to do
Yeah,
subscribe.
do it or don't. I don't. Just like if you've listened to this, you don't need to like or subscribe it because like or subscribe to it because I do marketing. You've already listened to it. There's probably pixels and cookies and stuff everywhere, so I could put it in front of you if you need to see it anywhere anyway. So yeah, no, give us feedback though because I can't make that happen.
Yeah,
So
okay.
feedback. Let's continue to do some cool shit.
Love it.